I absolutely resent that question, the way you put that in. You slipped that word in. Can you just say that again? What did you just say?
That one.
No, you're trying to suggest that I have got mental health problems and I have got
I would never do that. I'd never suggest that.
Like that.
I'm not a journalist. I've never done any journalism in my life.
No, but you behave like one sometimes.
Wow. We have got a crazy video coming up for you. Hi, it's Rob Moore here and welcome to the Disruptive Entrepreneur channel. Now, I've interviewed a lot of very famous, successful people, and this might be the most controversial, maybe even exposing interview that I've ever done. So what you're about to watch is the behind the scenes footage of what ended up being the most strange, crazy, controversial, talked about, weird video I think I've ever done. Now, you're about to see an interview with Pablo Escobar's reputed son, Philip Whitcomb, also known as Roberto Escobar. Philip, who we address as Roberto in the show, has been all over the media and the news.
Joined now by Pablo Escobar's son, Roberto Sendoya Escobar.
Adopted by an MI6 agent, he never knew his true identity until he was 24. I mean, those are the ingredients already of a quite extraordinary story.
So as I followed the story, got really excited, thought this would be a great, disruptive, left field guest for our show, and everything seemed to just be kind of normal. And this is where it went from weird to crazy. I was getting a lot of private messages from people I'd never met before saying, be careful, he's a fraud, look at the facts, this doesn't stack up. You know, I was backed into this position where I was going to have to ask him some tough questions. Anyway, I'll let you be the judge. Let's get straight in with the interview with Philip Whitcomb, also known as Roberto Escobar. And make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell.
Give me the 5-minute version of your story.
Yeah.
He gives a 5-minute version of the story.
Yeah.
Same stuff everyone's heard. What's question 2? Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
It's like, is it the truth
Is
though?
it the truth though? Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
almost like you're giving him the out to be like, well, no. But he won't, obviously.
So how long has this guy actually claimed? How long has it been since he's come out as Pablo?
He says he was told when he was 24.
Yeah. So how old is
And
he?
he's,
He's
I don't know,
54
50.
now.
They released this book at the beginning of August.
Why take that long? Let's make that a question.
That's a good question.
True.
Story.
Here he is.
Here to go.
Yeah, I'll spike my hair extra high today. It's just a question of how many questions before I change the direction of the interview. So I've got here, second one is, how different was your life before and after you got the news that you were Pablo Escobar's son, to get a bit of, I suppose, contrast? Because I can't answer any, how do you make money in business kind of questions, because he may not end up having the credibility for that.
Why have you chosen to tell this, as a story in the public eye, rather than just keep it private?
20 minutes till he joins. Said, look intense, Cash, look intense. Don't look at me. Look at the environment.
Look intense.
So I'm here with Tom, Kieran, Nikash and Harry. You're on speakerphone and Harry's got a camera about 6 inches from my face. Was he born in 1962 or 1965?
We don't think it's 1962.
So we think the original date at Company's House was 1965, because then that makes him 3 years older. The dates would have meant that Escobar would have been very young.
Correct.
Like a minor. Can you have a quick look and find out when he changed that? Do you know when he changed it?
No, but let me just have a dig around.
All right.
Because it should be on Company's House.
We got 15 minutes before he joins.
It's happening!
The worst this could be is boring.
Is that your way of saying, don't be a wimp, Rob? Go in there. That's you're goading me. But the worst this could be is I look like the biggest penis on the planet. It doesn't matter to you because you're behind the scenes.
Oh, he's here, mate. He's joined.
Yeah, Roberto Sendoya Escobar. Believable name.
Don't you slide out like you're getting away with it. I'm getting away. You're in it with us. Story summary. How was life before or after? How's the experience of the sudden media exposure been? They're the sort of 3 lead-in questions. Why did you reveal it now, 30 odd years later? Why did you even go public? Why is the OBE not public? Then I've got to pivot into his art. Got here, do you suffer with imposter syndrome? That's all I got. But I think, I think once we've dealt with it.
He'll either be on board and you'll be in flow, or it'll be done by then.
Yeah, exactly.
His real birthday is 1962, but that makes it that made Escobar 12 when he had all this rubbish, basically. So the last 2 years have been telling everyone his birthday is 1965. That would make Escobar 15, which is plausible.
No, 1965 would make him 12, 1962 would make him 15. Confusing, mate, but yeah. The earlier the year, the older someone is.
Correct.
Why did you give the Companies House Register a birthday of 1965 when I'm told your real birth year?
The 62.
No.
What's wrong?
It's the other way round.
Yeah, but when he's 1962, it's 9.
No.
Sorry, it's 12 or 15.
12.
Yeah, 12 or 15.
His real birth year must be 1965.
No.
Yeah, because if he makes his birth year 1962, that makes him older. This needs to be clear. They all want me to out him, but they need to be clear with what the information is.
5 to 3 now.
Yeah, mate, don't keep telling me, I know. I'm a little bit stressed. Everyone's been on to me about everything I've got to say on this.
We are ready to rock, Rob, when you're right. So I can bring up on the screen when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm good. Let me just get me where you want me. Hello?
Hi, Rob. Do you have anyone else that's coming on at the same time?
No, just us. Should I be calling you Roberto or Philip?
No, you can call me Roberto for the purposes of all this.
So Roberto Sendoya Escobar.
Another game.
I'll cue you in, Rob.
Yeah.
5 seconds. 2.
Hi, it's Rob Moore here, and yeah, there's been a lot of noise about this interview, and I'm very grateful that Roberto Sendoya Escobar, I guess you could say the secret son of Pablo Escobar in some ways. So why don't you tell us about the whole story?
Yeah, I mean, interesting, just to start off with, when I started writing the book, making notes on bits of paper, there was no intention to write a book. I don't consider myself, if you like, to be a proper author. I'm just a sort of ordinary person, if you like, that's decided to turn what I'd written in note form into a book. I mean, it's a controversial book in several ways because it talks about the prequel to Narcos. So, Narcos, which is one of the most successful stories, that's been around in the last 10, 15 years. We've got involvement of British Secret Service and American Secret Service in a foreign country, which is a typical situation that goes on. And, a lot of people would think it's so incredulous that it must be just a load of rubbish, but it isn't. It's all true. And the most important thing here is, you pay your $14.99 and you enjoy the book as a story. And don't get too hung up about stuff.
That conversation that your adopted father, what he told you in terms of who he really is, events that unfolded were when he sat down and told you.
It was 1989, so I was 24, but there's a lot of complicated issues around even that question, which I do answer in the book.
I've got time.
Yeah, I know what you're edging at, but the book answers...
No, you don't know what I'm edging at.
Yeah. I wasn't born yesterday, And when Dad said to me, your real father is Pablo Escobar, I didn't even know who he was. We didn't have internet in the Costa del Sol then. We didn't have tablets and phones that we all had this knowledge. We had Gibraltar TV, which is 2 years behind everywhere else.
Since the book's out, how's that been? How's your life changed in the last month?
It has changed my life completely. I used to self-promote myself with my paintings that you can see on the back, or I'll have a Facebook page of my artwork and I'll have a Facebook page about this and about that, as we all do, because we're all like that, aren't we? We just want to promote our stuff, what we're doing. So one of the first things I did was get rid of my Facebook pages. I've just got a private profile now, and Instagram, all that stuff. Actually gone. And
why did you get rid of all that? Because you could sell more books, couldn't you, through all that?
No, it doesn't sell more books. It just takes up time during the day of people asking you questions. You get obsessed with it. You know how we're obsessed with our phones. You see everybody walking around doing this on the phones. It's like a mental disease. We all have to do it. When you hear ping, oh, that's a message. Once they've written about the book, they'll find other things to write about. And, so-called friends at school will come out and say things that aren't true. It's like a turkey shoot, you put your head up there and someone's going to ping, have a go at you. There's opposition.
Security or anything like that?
It's not really, to say something live on a program like this, to discuss my personal security, to be really honest, wouldn't be appropriate.
Your adopted father told you in 1989, but you only wrote the book this year, and that fascinates me. That's a long time between finding out and fill in that gap.
Yeah, well, you're wrong, because I didn't write the book this year, and I've already said in this interview that I didn't write the book this year. 4 or 5 minutes ago, I said that it took me a long time. The process started in '94 with me writing down notes. You remember I said that earlier? And that is the process where I started the writing. It's part of my life. I didn't just sit down and go, once upon a time there were 3 bears, and that's, and that was it. It was a long, drawn-out process of getting all this stuff out. We didn't have the internet, so these huge gaps that needed to be filled in.
We have had the internet since the 90s, though, haven't we? It's not like we got it last year.
Oh, yeah. You had the internet in the 90s in England. Yeah, I don't know. You might remember it used to be Ask Jeeves back in the very early days. And that was crap. I didn't tell you anything. And, of course, bearing in mind that English is technically my second language, I still can't spell.
People are picking your story to bits when old friends, family members, etc., are trying to discredit the story. How does that make you feel?
The guys who I went to school with, who I didn't know, they were in a different year. But they make out they were my school pals. That's a load of old rubbish. But, it's their moment. They're having their bit of notoriety in the press. Good for them. Well, I don't feel bitter. But everyone who has read the book, and I don't know, have you actually read the book, Rob, or just skimmed it?
I told you I'm waiting for it on Audible. Remember we had that conversation?
Oh, yeah, that's got to happen. That's got to happen.
What was weird that came out of the woodwork was a few people approached me, people who are sort of in your past, and they were like quite against it. One person told me that the date on Companies House for your birth date didn't add up with your actual birth date. Yeah. And I think, could you sort of let us know what the discrepancy is there?
Well, that's all in the book. As you well know, I've explained it.
But can you tell us? Because I've got a lot of people wanting to know.
Well, they can read the book, can't they?
But can you tell us?
Well, I can, but what I don't want to do is get into something and then, because I'm actually a human being, despite what some people may say about me, and I have faults and I have memory problems, and I sometimes forget dates and times and all the rest of it, just like all of us. So the problem with you putting me on the spot is that, I'm going to say something and then 100,000 people go, well, that's not what he said in the book. I'm not going to fall into a trap where you're going to get me to say something and then I've got it wrong. So what I will say is...
It's your chance to have your say, isn't it? This is your say. This is your chance.
No, I've had my say in my book. No, don't worry about that. That's going out around the world, just like this this podcast. We're talking about Oryx. Now, let's get into this. All right, there's a bloke out there, right, who went out to Colombia. His father was working for my dad. They worked for the same company, and he's got a real problem with me, and he's got some mental problems with this because he can't deal with the fact that there are issues between my adopted father and his father, and unfortunately, my father was his boss. But it's all in the book, and I'm not going to fall into the trap of making mistakes here today.
There was a picture I saw where you had your dad's OBE, but there was we couldn't find any records of the OBE.
So we're back to the Oryx issue again, yeah. It's the same guy.
Or he didn't, I suppose. So
when I went to the house when my mother died, and I found this medal. Then I remember the time when Princess Anne came out to Colombia and awarded Dad something, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I thought, well, this must be the case.
But you're sporting the moustache, and that obviously makes you look a bit more Pablo-esque. Have you always sported the moustache?
Yeah, I've been accused, and I know the question has a connotation to it.
No, it doesn't.
I've been accused of trying to this and for marketing and all that. It's all bollocks. So I actually I've always had a moustache.
If you think about it, you've got a life up to the age of 24, which you didn't know who your real dad was, and then a life after 24, then you didn't know who your real dad was, and then of course you've got your adopted dad. Do you think this has given you some kind of imposter syndrome, or how has it affected your identity of who you are?
I absolutely resent that question, the way you put that in. You slipped that word in. Can you just say that again? What did you just say? That one? No, you're trying to suggest that I have got mental health problems and I've got...
I would never do that. I'd never suggest that. That'd be wrong. Having mental health issues
There are a lot of people out there that suffer from quite serious mental health problems, and it wouldn't be good to get involved in that area in a sort of in a hostile interview. Imposter, which is the word you use, which I take great offence to.
Syndrome's a known thing. I didn't call you an imposter. I said imposter syndrome. You know,
I know. You're a professional, and journalists do this as well.
I'm not a journalist. I've never done any journalism in my life.
No, but you behave like one sometimes. Listen, I will say, just finally, look, I can live with any criticism once you've read the book. It's a free world out there. Read the book and then just, say what you think about the book. Be constructive and sensible. And that's fine. We can all live with that. Not a problem at all. I just hope that you enjoy it. Buy it and enjoy it and get your money's worth. That's what you'll do. And then the movie will be out soon. So, the next 5 years, and you'll be able to watch that as well.
Roberto, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
And we're offline.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sorry to stand up for myself. It's
all right. It's all good. I'm happy.
Yeah, all right, mate. Cheers. Thanks
All
a
right.
lot.
Thanks. Thank you.
I'm sure you'll get Oric on the bloody blower any 5 minutes.
All right.
That was good. That last bit.
Should we go live on my Facebook page?
Yeah, I think we need a debrief.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
this
the fuck,
guy.
man?
He is so defensive.
Yeah, man. He weren't happy about that.
Some of the questions Rod asked were like,
They're just
they're
genuine
normal.
questions.
We've asked them a million times before.
Normal. It's an interview.
I like the last question you asked about, the
Imposter syndrome,
Imposter
Jesus.
syndrome. That's a genuine question. You've lived a different life for 24 years. You found out. And
Well,
you know what, Rob? I have to give it to you. Come on, but yeah, okay.
the worst thing is to act like that though, because it seems so
It
suspicious.
seems like there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like there has to be.
Like, just chill.
Oh my god! I'm sat there like they were like, has he got a book? No, no way. No way.
Oh, there's a few, yeah. I asked him about imposter syndrome and at the end he got really angry. So yeah, there's definitely, but yeah, I mean, look, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Look, people are going to make up their own mind. I'm not saying what I think.
I don't drink, but you should play that interview and play the shots game every time he says book.
Oh, yeah.
You would be steaming.
Right, I'm ready. I'm ready, Harry.
Okay, going live in 3, 2, 1. But like.
Hi, it's Rob, and I've got Kieran and Harry here. And we thought we'd do something we've only done once before, which is a full-on debrief after a live interview. Shit. So I was really fucking nervous about that one because in typical Rob style, when we agreed to have Roberto or Philip on our podcast, we were quite excited by the guest. Someone a bit different, a bit disruptive, and I figured he might have a lot that we could glean for the concept of the disruptive entrepreneur. We did a lot of research, and there was enough to put doubt in your mind, but it wasn't conclusive, was it? I mean, it wasn't like 100% conclusive. No. But what I've never done is interviewed anyone who their identity is in question. David Icke maybe is a lizard, but other than that, every question which needed an answer was evaded, and then the last one where he accused of making fun of people with mental health problems, which obviously I wasn't. But it's a genuine question. When you've had a double life and a double identity, that could get you to question your identity. It's a good question. I wasn't trying to make mockery of people with mental health problems.
That was bang out of order, I thought.
Yeah, it was definitely tried to twist that one on me, like I'm a journo trying to expose him. But I didn't really ask anything.
He was just defensive from the get-go,
So
though,
defensive.
wasn't he?
Look at it this way. BBC didn't sniff it out. None of the others sniffed it out. They just told the story. If we're the kind of first interviewers where, he created some doubt, because I didn't answer anything that you can't find on the internet in 10 seconds.
True.
I didn't go for him, let's be honest.
No.
Could have gone for him more. So it wasn't an expose. So if it does come out, it's kind of, I think he's done it to himself to a certain degree. Oh, my life. I have had the most insane day. Well, there you go. I don't really know what to say. I'm not going to let you know my thoughts on the real identity of Philip or Roberto. I would like your thoughts. So please put in the comments what you think. What did you think of the interview? Do you think I went on him like a bit of a journo? Do you believe his identity? I would love your thoughts in the comments right now. If you'd like to watch the full, extended, unedited interview, then there's a link below. Go watch it now. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and remember this: if you don't risk anything, you risk everything.